Okay, this next section I'm going to talk about slope. Slope is very important with graphing. So, what I'm going to demonstrate is I'm going to put some lines here on 4 graphs. Now, on the first one, it's going upward. This is what I call a positive slope. I'm going to just put the plus symbol for positive. The second one is a negative because it's going downward, so it's a negative slope. Now, the third graph is a straight, it's a horizontal. That means there's no incline. The first two, there's an incline or a decline. There's no incline or decline on the third one. So we call this zero slope. And finally, a vertical line, anything that goes up and down, it's what we call undefined. We're going to see one of these undefined here later on. So actually, before we start, I'm going to also mention too, and I'm going to put this at the very top, and I'm going to come back to this as well, is slope is m, it's rise over run, or it's the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so I'm going to put the slope formula back right here just for us to see it. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now what we need to do is we need to figure out from our coordinates. So if I give you 2 coordinates and I want you to come up with finding the slope, you need to understand labeling and make sure it gets it right. Now here's how I do this. This is just my rule of thumb. What I'm going to do is I'm going to label your first coordinate is always your x. So I'm going to label this x1. So if that's x1, the next one has to be y1. 4, I'm going to do this x2, y2. Now, if you want to reverse it and say my first coordinate 2, 3 is x2, y2, you can do that the same way. But the consistency means if it's x1, right after it, after the comma, has to be y1. So all I'm going to do for this is I'm going to put in y2 is 5 minus my y1 is 3, 5 minus 3 over 4 minus 2, which 5 minus 3 is 2, 4 minus 2 is 2. So 2 over 2. In this case, my slope is 1. So I want you to try this next one. Actually, these next, we can do these next 2. So if you want to, actually, I'll just go ahead and let you all see this. My examples 2, 3, and 4. If you want to, pause it. Give yourself however long you need, and then unpause it, and then I'm going to demonstrate how you do this. So go ahead and pause it, those that need it. And here we go. We're resuming. So welcome back. Now, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what I want to still do is I want to still do x1, y1, x2, y2. And then I want to just fill in the blanks. y2 is 3. So it's 3 minus 7 equals, now here's the common mistake. You got 8 minus a negative 2. So I'm going to put these in parentheses. So what happens to now is m equals 3 minus 7 is negative 4 over 2 negatives make a positive. 8 plus 2 is 10. So negative 4 over 10 reduces to negative 2/5. So those that got this, congratulations. Just remember, when you subtract a negative, it turns positive. Now this one right here, I want to just go ahead and say, okay, 10 minus 8, 10 minus 8 over 4 minus 4. Well, 10 minus 8 is 2. 4 minus 4 is 0. So in this case, 2 divided by 0. So think about money. If you have $2 divided by 0 people, it makes no sense. We call this undefined. So if we graph this, this would be a straight line going up and down. And finally, I'm going to say 2 minus 2 over 5 minus 1, which is 0 over 4. Now, 0 can be on the top, so 0 divided by anything is 0. Now, we're trying to locate and find slope. So my examples up here, we found what slope is by using the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, this is just recognition. What is the slope on both of these? What's the number in front of the x? In number 5, the slope is actually 5 because 5 is in front of the x. Number 6, it's not 2, it is a negative 2. Now, here's a common mistake. We'll just go ahead and say m is 5. You cannot do it that way. What we need to do is we need to go ahead and say, okay, 5y equals x, divide by 5, like how we've been doing. So y equals 1/5 x. So now the slope is the number in front of the x, which is 1/5. Now, in conclusion, this is very important because if I give you an equation, we need you to be able to put this in slope-intercept form. So what I want to do, this goes back to solving equations several videos back. So what I want to do on this negative 3x minus 4y equals 7 is I want to solve for y. So that means I'm going to protect this, not only the y, but the negative 4 in front of the y. That means I need to get rid of this negative 3x by adding it to both sides. And you get negative 4y equals 3x plus 7. So in conclusion, with this problem, you want to get rid of this negative 4 by dividing it. So y equals negative 3/4 x. And then technically the plus 7 divided by negative 4 is negative 7/4, which really in this case, all we're trying to do is find the slope, which is the number in front of the x, which is negative 3/4. So I hope this lesson gives you some different techniques about finding slope, because slope is very important with graphing. So please be looking out for some more of my videos. Thank you very much.